Mr. Court Officer, please call the case.
Good morning, Mr. President. This is the situation in Darfur, Sudan, in the case of the prosecutor versus Ali Muhammad Ali Abd-Al-Rahman Ali Kushaib, case number ICC 0205-0120, and for the record, we're in open session.
Thank you very much. Just for the records, Mr. Prosecutor, would you introduce yourself and your colleagues?
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, colleagues. I'm Julian Nichols. I'm joined today with Hazaleh Mescoub, attorney, and our case manager, Dushan Illich. Thank you.
Good morning, thank you. Mr. Counsel for the Defense, bonjour.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président. Ce matin, sur le banc de la Défense, Madame Vanessa Gray, conseillère juridique, Monsieur Ahmad Issa, gestionnaire de dossier, et moi-même, Cyril Lauchi, conseil principal.
Voilà, merci beaucoup. Madame Masida, we start with you, OPCV, and then the other legal representative of victims.
Good morning, Mr. President. Appearing for the Office of Public Counsel for Victims, myself, Paulina Masida, accompanying courtroom by Ms. Sarah Pelé. Following the hearing remotely, Ms. Mecca Abdal-Gabar, Assistant to Counsel, Ms. Ludovica Petruccio, Legal Officer, and Ms. Ana Peña, Case Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. The other legal representative of victims. Madam Clooney, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honours. I'm Amal Clooney. I'm the legal representative for victims. Joining my team from the courtroom today is Vera Padberg, assistant to counsel. There's also Katerina Lewis and Yasmin Chubin, associate counsel, following remotely, as well as Samath Patel, following remotely, assistant to counsel.
Thank you very much. Sabal Noor, Mr. Amin, will you please introduce yourself and your colleague?
صباح الخير سيد الرئيس. معي اليوم أيوب تم سمس ويلسون ويتابع معنا بعد فادي عبد الله ريان عبد الله وفادي ناصر. شكرا سيد الرئيس.
Thank you very much. Now, as mentioned yesterday, the main purpose of this hearing is for the Chamber to ascertain if Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman condition of detentions are fine, as it is mandated by Rule 118, paragraph 3. This is not a hearing about whether pre-trial detention should continue or not. This will be done in due course, so it's mainly about the suspect. So, Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman, good morning. I would like to hear from you about how are you and the conditions of detentions. I've seen during these days likely that you look well, but I would like to hear from you. How are you? How you feel? And if there's any consideration you want to make about the conditions of detention. Again, Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman, this is not about whether you should be in pretrial detention, let alone about your responsibilities. Those will be dealt with in due course. It's about your everyday living in the detention center, how you feel, and if you are in good health. So please stand up, take off your mask, and you can respond.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. في البدء نشكر السيد رئيس القضاء مشكورا جزيلا لسمحت لي بهذا المنطلق. أنا يعني أكرر مرة أخرى علي محمد علي عبد الرحمن، يعني مولود سنة يوم 1/1/1949. وفي البدء نترحم لأرواح الشهداء الذين راحوا ضحاياهم في دارفور، وحي مؤسفة عظيمة جدا، ونتمنى لدارفور تعيش في أمن وأمان من الصراعات القبلية. 2، حقيقة أنا وصلت من السودان هنا طوعة عن نفسي ولذلك للمحكمة الدولية لشان أبرئ نفسي من هذا المساعي الذي حدث في دارفور، وليس أنا ليس عندي داعي بهذا المنطلق. رابعا حقيقة أنا موجود في المركز الحجي تماما، ما عندي أي حاجة، وشكرا جزيلا السيدة مولانا للسامح.
Well, thank you, sir. It is good to hear that the conditions of your detention are fine. We take pride of keeping the detention center in at the highest standards in the world, and I take note also of your other statements. Again, this is not the moment for dwelling upon your possible responsibility, but you're presumed innocent and you have a legal team at your disposal to support you. Now, I will give the floor to the parties and the participants. Again, let me recall that the detention on the review of the pre-trial detention within the 120-day time limits under paragraph 2 of Rule 118 will be taken in due course, and this is not the moment. Parties and participants may file their written observations about that matter, if they so wish, following these deadlines. The prosecutors and the victim submissions shall be filed no later than Friday, 11 June, and the defense may respond by Friday, 18 June. Now, keeping this in mind, I'll give the floor to you, Mr. Prosecutor. If you have any point to make, I'm here to listen.
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you. No, the prosecution does not have submissions on that matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, the legal representatives of the victims, we follow the order which now has become usual, OPCV first, and then the other legal representatives. Please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We do not have specific submission as the prosecution at this point in time. The only thing that I would like to recall on behalf of victims that we represent, because this is a recurrent concern that they have, is just to indicate to the Chamber how they are concerned about any kind of issues related to the detention of Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman, for what we have already indicated on another issues about pre-trial detention. So the only thing that I would like to address is simply the fact that victims remain concerned about any discussion in relation to the detention or not detention of Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman. We do not have specific submissions today, and we will present eventually more specifically the concerns of the victims on the continued detention of the suspect in due course. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I take note of what you said. I understand that the victims have an interest in this matter. This is why you've been given the floor, and your colleagues will be as well. And again, you may file written submissions on a technical, legal level in due course. Madam Clooney, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Honour. May I just say, I will, of course, take up your invitation to make the more detailed legal submissions in writing. But perhaps just for purposes of today, I can share some of the views that have been communicated to me by victims, some of whom have been following this hearing, of course. And when I raised the question about possible release of the suspect, I think it's fair to say that they are panicked by the idea that the suspect could be released at this stage. And just to convey to you some of the things I heard, as you know, the vast majority of the victims live in camps. that lack adequate security, and almost all of them have expressed security concerns. Many victims have told me that they fear retaliation by the suspect or his associates if he were to be released. As one victim put it, I feel scared and insecure because I am one of the witnesses against Ali Kushaib in the ICC. I belong to the Fur tribe, and these camps are not secure. At one of the camps in Chad, victims have also said that, quote, their lives will be at risk if the suspect is released. And this fear, Your Honor, is also very real outside the camps. A victim who lives in Bendizi stated, quote, Ali Kushaib should not be released because I might be killed. And another victim said, quote, he will kill others to hide the truth. Many victims have also highlighted that releasing the suspect would give his associates a license to kill. In the words of one client, quote, I completely object to the release of Ali Kushaib because it will be another disaster. He will return and reorganize and mobilize his associates who will be confident that there is no real accountability. Another victim said, quote, Ali Kushaib's release would embolden his partners who will commit crimes with more confidence. Indeed, Your Honor, many victims feel that now that the proceedings are underway, his release would cause security unrest in Darfur and that they would have to leave the area. In the words of one of my clients, quote, if you release him, we won't be able to stay in Darfur anymore. We'll be stateless. Your Honors, it took almost 20 years to bring this suspect before the court, and in our written submissions, we will explain why this is indeed not the time to release him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Amin, the floor is yours now.
سيد الرئيس صباح الخير. أريد أن ليس لي دفوع خاصة في هذا الشأن، ولكن هناك مخاوف قبل إلى حضراتكم بالضحايا فيما يتعلق بشأن إمكانية إخلاء سبيل أو إطلاق سراحه. هناك عدد من المخاوف الشديدة للضحايا فقط عندما نذكر مثل هذا الأمر. أولاً أعربوا لي الضحايا عن أن التفكير في مثل هذا الأمر في حد ذاته يسبب تبديداً لكل الجهود التي بذلت فيما يتعلق بالوصول إلى هذه المرحلة في قضية دارفور، وهي كانت مرحلة مطمئنة للغاية من الأحد. الأمر الثاني أن الانتساب القبلي المشتبه فيه وقبيلته التي تنتشر داخل السودان وخارجه حتى هذه اللحظة التي نحن فيها، هناك ممارسات وضغوط شديدة وتخويفات وتهديدات يتعرض لها الضحايا في كل مكان سواء داخل السودان أو خارجه. وبالتالي إذا ما تم التفكير في إطلاق سراح أو مجرد القول بإطلاق سراح المشتبه فيه سوف يثير حالة من الرعب والفزع في نفوس كل ضحايا الموت. الأمر الثالث أن التفكير في هذا الأمر قد يؤدي صراحة إلى التقليل من نسبة مشاركة الضحايا في الإجراءات القادمة في المحكمة. هذا أمر نحن نعمل على محاولة تفعيل دور مشاركة الضحايا في الإجراءات أمام هذه المحكمة. سيد الرئيس أنقل إلى حضراتكم حالة من حالات الفرح الشديد الذي انتاب وعبر به بعض الضحايا، ونقلت بعض الفيديوهات المتعلقة بأن الضحايا عندما شاهدوا جلسات الماضي دب قلوبهم الأمل والفرح الشديد جدا بأنه أخيرا بعد انتظار 18 عاما العدالة سوف تأخذ مجراها في هذه القضية. الحديث عن إمكانية أو احتمال إخلاء سبيل يؤدي إلى صدمة عنيفة جدا لكل الضحايا، بالإضافة إلى أن بعضهم معرضا بالفعل لتهديدات الآن وقبل الحديث عن إمكانية إخلاء سبيل المتهم. لذلك فإن بقاء المتهم دون إخلاء سبيل هو أحد أهم ضمانات، مع احترامنا وتقديرنا لقرينة البراءة والضمانات التي يجب أن يتمتع بها المجتمع فيه باعتباره في هذه المرحلة، إلا أنه على المقابل هناك تخوف من تعرض الضحايا والشهود وإمكانية العبث بالأدلة والعبث والضغط على الشهود، سواء الذين تم أخذ شهادتهم أو الذين يمكن أن تأخذ شهادتهم في المرحلة القادمة. لذلك حفاظا وضمانا لسلامة الضحايا نلتمس من عدالة المحكمة أن يبقى المتهم محبوسا حتى تسير الإجراءات بشكل أكثر اتساعا بشكل محاور. شكرا سيدي.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Counsel for the Defense, Mr. Leuci, s'il vous plaît. Mr. Leuci, your microphone is not activated.
Pardon.
Start again, all over again, just for the records,
Oui,
please.
oui. Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président, et je vous présente mes excuses. Se peut qu'il y ait un petit peu de fatigue après 3 jours passés en audience. Je disais que je me bornerai mes propos, ainsi que vous nous y avez invités, à parler uniquement des conditions de détention de M. Ali Mohamed Ali Abd-Al-Rahman.
Excuse me, Mr. Leuci. Mr. Court Officer, there's no legal interpretation? English?
Je peux le faire une
I see, okay. It's a pandemic of microphone pandemic. Okay. All right, but it's fine. It's fine. You don't
Je
need
peux
to
le faire une
translate.
troisième
No,
fois.
no, no. You don't need to restart. I do understand.
Je vous remercie. Je disais donc que je ne répondrai pas aux observations des distingués représentants légaux des victimes qui avaient un tout autre sujet. Sur les conditions de détention, M. Ali Mohamed Ali Abd-Al-Rahman vient de vous dire que ces conditions de détention étaient bonnes. Je m'en remets à ce qu'il vous a dit. Je ferai simplement 2 observations. Depuis qu'il a été transféré à La Haye, M. Ali Mohamed Ali Abd-Al-Rahman n'a pu recevoir aucune visite de sa famille. C'est normalement un droit qu'ont les personnes détenues de pouvoir recevoir des visites familiales. Nous comprenons qu'il y a des difficultés en cours pour les organiser, notamment dues à la pandémie, mais je porte cela à votre connaissance et espère, émet le vœu que le greffier fasse tout son possible pour pouvoir rétablir au plus tôt les visites de famille. Et le deuxième commentaire que je souhaite faire est de nature positive. J'ai déjà exprimé ma satisfaction, j'ai adressé un courrier particulier au greffier à cet effet, mais je profite de l'occasion pour souligner que la section de la détention a réellement travaillé au-delà de tout ce que l'on peut en temps normal espérer de ces prestations et a vraiment fait un travail formidable en relation avec l'organisation dans un temps très court de l'expertise médicale que nous avons présentée lors de l'audience de confirmation des charges. Je pense qu'il est justice de les en remercier publiquement au cours de cette audience et c'est à cela que je bornerai mes observations.
Thank you very much, Ms. Leuci. The Chamber is taking note of all the observations. On the matter of visits, you do understand that health takes precedence. There are rules of the host country and rules of the registry, which must be abided by in the interest of everyone, starting with the inmates and all of the staff of the court and yourselves, the legal teams. The Chamber is taking note of your observations. I've given you deadlines for written submissions on the legal matter, so whether pre-trial detention should continue or not. Thank you, Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman, for your statements. We understand that you are in good health. We're happy for this, and that your conditions are appropriate. So I had my gratitude to the registry for their work. If there are no other observations, then I would like to thank you all for your participation, and again the interpreters, the technicians, court officers, and the security officers, and everyone at registry for making this hearing possible. So have a pleasant day, and see you soon. Thank you.
All rise, veuillez vous lever.